Okay, so here we are today. We're at a CD35C. GC numbers there. This boiler's had multiple visits. I'm talking 7 visits or something. It hasn't worked in 6 weeks. No one can seem to find out what's wrong with it. It's had a few seals changed. Apparently the plate heat exchanger has been changed. They've had a power flush. Let's have a look at this data badge. And right now the boiler isn't even switched on, so I don't know what that's all about, but we'll see. I'll go and ask the customer and we'll see what's up with it. Okay, so here's the beast. Let's have a look in here, see what we do know. So it has a G&only heat exchanger sideways on. The same heat exchanger as a Valent, the old 4 series, sideways on. It has some form of, look, it's got an overheat on there of some sort, spark generator which is hanging off. We've got a spark electrode, an ionisation electrode, so flame sensing, spark, nice big sight glass so we can have a look through when it's up and running. We have a water pressure sensor there. We have an NTC there potentially, or an overheat. Let's have a look if we can find any NTCs in here. Okay, so there we go. There's an NTC right there, it looks like. Peel the cover back. Yep, there's an NTC right there. Looks like it's a wet pocket NTC. This pipe here goes down into a manifold that's attached to this diverter valve. Let's see that that clips in properly with slide the phone in there. Yeah, it clips in, holding it. Right, let's have a look in here. Is that a flow sensor there? I don't think so. PRV pipe goes onto the plate. Plate's back there. Plate's in that hole there. We can see it. So there's our 2-wire domestic hot water flow sensor. So that's just a switch. It's got 2 wires. It is just a switch, guys. There's our hot water NTC there. Slight leak on that. There's a big transformer at the back there. Standardish sort of gas valve. Standardish fan for nowadays. I'm going to do a video on fans for you guys, explaining why fans have changed so much, what's the reasoning behind it. And it's actually all to do with efficiency, and it's all to do with the speed the fan can run. But like I say, that's another thing. So first things I'm going to do is refit this, because I don't like that all hanging off like that. Something odd there. And then I'm going to turn the power on and see what this boiler does. Refitted that. It's very difficult for you to see, but just that bottom right is on D. On heating and water, everything's on. We just need to get this cooling. Now, I don't know if we can override it with this button, I'm not sure. I can hear the diverter valve move. It's very noisy, I can't even hear what's running. If anything's running, to be honest. Pump's running, but that's it, it stops. Okay, I've got to get demand going for this so I can test it. So I'm just going to go and do that. Okay, so I've just knocked on the door. The customer is, she didn't answer, I'm guessing she's busy. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this cover off here. You can see here, this is the wiring for the internal clock. So we have a brown and the blue and 2 reds. So you'd assume the brown and the blue are to operate the clock and the 2 reds are the switch. So I'm just going to link them 2 out. So I've got the boiler on constant demand for heating, and we'll see what's what. Okay, so I've gained access to here. Obviously the power is off. I have used that on it like that, just to prove it. I know this is working. So here's the mains electrical connections coming in. I'm going to quickly do polarity and things like that. Take 2 seconds, and then I'll link out them 2 red wires on the clock there, and then I'll drop this cover back down and put the screws in loose, just so that there's no chance of me putting my fingers in there or anything like that while I'm working on this. Okay, so just to confirm this, you can see 3 and 4 are the switch. So 3 would be the common, 5 would be off because they're touching there on that diagram, and then 4 would be the switch, which would make it on. And as you look, 1 and 2 as M for motor, which is just the load. So if it's a mechanical timer, that's what makes it turn round. So 3 and 5 is off, 3 and 4 is on. So when it switches between 3 and 5 is on, 3 and 5, sorry, is off, 3 and 4 is on. So I put the link between 3 and 4, and this boiler should now run for heating. Fans running, pumps running. Do we have ignition? We've got ignition. You can't see that. Let me turn the flash off and come back. Oh, you can see that. No, you can't. You've seen the reflection of the car. Okay, so while I was faffing about trying to get the flash off, which I didn't manage to do, something's wrong with the phone. It's playing right up. Let me try and cover that, shield it. The flame went out. I didn't see why. You can see in there, there's the heat exchanger, there's the rings of the heat exchanger. It's hard for you, but that's the burner there, that sort of bit there, that's the burner. And that white bit is the back insulation panel. Right, fan's still running. On the display here, what we got? On the display here we have just a green light on. That's just relit. Can you see that? No, you still can't see that. I'm going to take a photo of it. Okay. Right, so I've taken a photo of that and it's gone out again. Now what I can tell you, the flame picture starts off lovely and ends up being absolutely rubbish. So I reckon this is going to go out on flame failure in a minute. So it's harder. You can see just D's lit at the moment, I think. Yeah, just D's lit. For some reason I can't turn the flash off on my phone now. But just D's lit. Burner's off again. I'll try, when it relights again, I'll get a photo of good flame picture and bad flame picture. And you can see, so before I've done anything, that's just lit again. There you go, you can see that. Let me stand just right. You can see that. Let me hold my hand here. That flame picture looks okay. Just dancing on the burner there. Starts to ramp up. Dancing on the burner. Looks okay. Ramping up. I can't get closer with the phone. The flash hides it. I can't get the flash up. It's really annoying. That flame picture's now completely gone to crap. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and get a photo of it without flash. Okay, so I got some photos. This is the flame picture when it first lights. You know, you can see it's pretty good. As you can see, as it starts to ramp up, it slowly starts to deteriorate, and then it just gets worse and worse. So you'll see in all these pictures now, just deteriorates, it gets elongated, and then it just becomes a sort of blue mess in there. So just so you know, I mean, I'm sure most of you do know this, modern condensing boilers, like for instance Valent, have got rid of their sight glass because it will always look blue. Because it's a forced draft burner, it generally always looks blue even if the CO is off the scale. So looking through is only good to tell you that it's actually lit, not whether it's got good combustion or not. Okay, it's just gone out again. Because I can tell it's poor flame picture, I've got my analyzer set up. I'll leave this here on room CO for a sec so it's not wasting the battery too much, running the pump. And I have my gauge on it, which right now is showing the standing pressure of 23 millibar. But because I know it's a combustion issue, or it appears to be, this is one issue I found so far. First things to check is the gas pressures and the combustion ratios. Now this has had flue seals replaced, so all this nastiness up here and here and here has already been dealt with by someone else apparently. So there's the bits. Here we go, the boiler's up and running again. It's lit. Let's check that inlet pressure. Oh, well, ain't that a problem. Inlet pressure right now is 16 millibar, and this isn't even fired, really. Let's drop in as the boiler starts to ramp up. 10. Do you think we might have found our problem? Do you think maybe 6 millibar inlet pressure might not be adequate? Well, okay, it's not quite 6, it's 6 1/4 because we've got 6 1/2 there and 6 there. Do you reckon that might be causing the problem? Oh, it's locked out. There we go. So, let's find out why the gas pressure's wrong. Okay, so the lady's now emptying the cupboard for us to check the gas. I've already done the quick visual. I mean, it's 22 coming through the wall there, straight up to the boiler. It's 22 there. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a few elbows on it, but not enough that would cause it to drop to 16 millibar because we've only got, what have we got here? Maybe 3 meters of pipe plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elbows. So it's not exactly a huge amount. So it's either going to be the outlet pressure of the meter is bad, or we've got all that debris in the bottom of the gas valve. So we might have to whip this gas valve out and try and clear all the debris out of it and out the gas pipes. Okay, so visuals on the meter. ECV's not labelled. Governor is sealed. Too close to the main. Incorrect telephone number. We have got an earth clamp. It is sealed. It's sleeved, but it's not sealed. Gas pipe touching the main there. Look. Brilliant. So anyway, let's get on and find out why this boiler's not working. Okay, so in and connected, back on, and we have a standing pressure of 24 millibar. So let's go reset that boiler and see what happens when it's trying to light. Okay, so turn it back on. You won't see it light because of the thing. At the moment we see this light, we'll go inside and see the gas pressure. Right, so that's lit. We'll go inside. Okay. Okay, so National Grid have been called. I've obviously turned it off at the ECV. And obviously tested the ECV, make sure it's not leaking. That's it, now it's just a waiting game. Okay, so we just waited the 2 hours for National Grid to show up. After their magic, we have 18 millibar. It's been fluctuating between 18 and 19. It's bouncing a bit down now, but you know, if we do this, there you go, 18 millibar. And they've got hot water. The flame pitch is still, I mean, it's okay. I'll take a photo of it, you'll see it better. It's okay, but I bet it's not going to be great on a combustion analysis. Anyway, let me take a photo of that and then I'll get down to my analyzer. Managed to get the flash off. You see it's a little bit, try and get to focus in there. It's a little bit wispy in there. It's dancing on that burner a lot, but not nicely, so let's do some combustion analysis and see where we're at. Okay, so going in. Okay, so it seems quite stable there. So I'm now going to check the MIs and see what it should be. This isn't locked on high or anything like that. This is just a hot tap running at the moment. I don't know how you lock this on high, so I have to look it up. You may not even lock it on high. So I'm now going to check the MIs. And obviously I need to check this with the case on, because that will show up any problems with that fluke clip. You see that has been leaking up there before, but that seal's apparently been changed. I don't know if that fluke clip's been changed, doesn't look like it has, but I can't see any evidence in that hole there of that leaking, because you get all the bracket in the back there. It'll be all crusty and horrible, and it's not. So I don't think it is leaking. It's pretty good. Okay, that's connected up. It's a differential, so I think it's 2 connections. This is still roughly where it was before. It's actually coming down slowly, so we will see. It even tells you how to gas rate it on here. Amazing. So this is a snippet from the MIs, and it's got to be below 0.003, which is well below that. So actually the combustion is good. Okay, so I've checked the MIs for this boiler, and I've got this disconnected, just purging itself, cleaning itself out. I've checked the MIs for this boiler, and providing this is correct, which it was, the combustion ratio just has to be below 0.0030. So it's usually 0.0040. On this boiler here it's 0.0030. and as you saw, we had a reading of much lower than that, so therefore this boiler is a-okay. Just going to gas rate it as the last thing I do, and get some screws in it, because when I got here there I had hardly any in it, and as you can see right now I haven't got many in it, so I've got none in it. So I'm going to put as many screws in as I can find in the van. I'm sure I'll have them all, and button it up, and hopefully it's done. So, nice man. I think it's Scottish Power or something, I'm not sure. I've at least put some bits and bobs on there. So I've told the customer about this gas pipe being too close to that, and I mean that's past the first tee. You know, whatever. I've told her about that as well, but I'll get real there sometimes. So yeah, that's a bit better than it was. It gas rates out fine as well. We've all got one of these, I think, haven't we? There you go, 4 screws in there. These last 2 holes are for this there, and I've just got to sort that link out in there, put that back together, and I'll do one final test with it all buttoned up. Everything's done there, back in. Case seal is all good all the way around. So last final test, all buttoned up. Job's a good one. Right, I wonder why this would only short cycle on heating. As I'm tidying up, I've had this on test, and that valve was closed. Not all the way, but a lot of the way. So I've just opened that, and the boiler's running a bit harder now. I can hear it for heating, so the heating's now all going to be coming on in there. All back together. All done. Links out. Boiler's all back together. Give it a little wipe over. Too much effort to remove them, they're a pain in the arse. So anyway, that is it. Could do with some flow screws, but then that ain't got a fitting for it. Oh, that's solid. Let's whack some screws in it quickly. Okay, so this is what it took to fix this boiler. Flue gas analyzer, a flat screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, the U gauge. I know I used 2, but you could have just used 1 and taken it off and put it back on, and leak detection fluid, and that's it. It wasn't a very involved fault, but engineers, you've got to keep it simple. Engineers aren't keeping it simple, and they're going looking for problems that just aren't there. So yeah, that's it. Remember, just keep things simple, guys. Flue screws in. How far to my next job? What? You're having a laugh.